Hobbywing makes this in a 1200 kb and an 1800 kb version, and I'm going to install the 1800 kb version in my TRX4. Welcome to Big Hobbies. Today my TRX4 is getting a brushless system. I am going to install and set up a Hobbywing QuicRun Fusion brushless system, motor and ESC 2-in-1. It's a brushless sensor motor and ESC combined in one. Hobbywing makes this in a 1200 kb and an 1800 kb version, and I'm going to install the 1800 kb version in my TRX4. And you can run this with the 2S or 3S LiPos. So let's get started and show you first what's in the box. Here's everything that comes in the box. You have the motor and the ESC itself, couple of cables and zip ties, the instruction manual and the decal sheet. And it also comes with a programming card, which is really nice. One thing, you can use any Hobbywing programming card. This programming card actually comes with Hobbywing 1080 ESC, except that the instructions for the programmable items on the card will be different. But you can always refer to the settings in the user manual. I'll go into more details about the programming settings after I get it installed onto my TRX4. This is the motor and ESC in one, and it's beautifully designed. It's roughly the same size as a 550 can, but it's actually a 540 size motor, and the ESC sits at the top. It doesn't have a Bluetooth built in, but it has most of the technology of the higher X system built in at a great price point. It comes with the FOC technology, which stands for the Field Oriented Control, and it is an awesome sensor technology. This allows you to maintain whatever speed you have over an obstacle automatically by adjusting the output torque. It also has thermal protection where it will shut off when it gets too hot. It has an on and off button that acts as a light for the ESC, and it also has a rubber cover that hides the connector to the programming card. It also has a cable that connects to the receiver, and finally it also comes with XT60 connector, which is nice as I run those. One thing, I have already modified, soldered in two direct connect cables, one for my direct connect server and one for the light switch. As I mentioned earlier, the Fusion will be going into my TRX4. I changed out the ESC to Hobbywing 1080, which has been a great upgrade. As for the motor, I'm still running the stock 550 size 21 turn Titan motor. In order to install the Fusion, I'll have to remove both the ESC and the motor. I'll be keeping the stock pinion, so it will use the same gear mesh on the motor plate, which is C. If you do change your pinion, check the manual for the correct gear mesh. My Hobbywing 1080 ESC is attached via a double-sided tape, so a bit of twist and it will pop off. Disconnect the connector from the receiver. All that is to the removal process. Please note that since I have removed the stock battery tray, everything much easily accessible. If you do have the stock battery tray, you will need to partially remove it as the connectors is zip tied underneath the battery tray. The stock motor and the Hobbywing 1080 ESC together weighs 312 grams or 11 ounces. Fusion weighs 206 grams or 7.27 ounces, a savings of 106 grams or 3.74 ounces, which is not an insignificant amount. Installation is pretty straightforward. Attach the motor plate and make sure you're using the correct gear mesh. Next, you will want to install the pinion gear. Align the grub screw to the flat part of the motor shaft and adjust the position of the spur gear before tightening it down. Then install the motor cover using the 3 screws. Connect the ESC connector to the channel 2 on the receiver. When you're first setting it up, you want to do throttle calibration first. Turn on the transmitter and check to make sure that the radius trim, dual rate, and EPA is in neutral position. Also, make sure to raise the car off the ground so that the tire is not touching the ground. Connect the battery and ensure that the ESC is in off position. In the power off state, press the power key and hold it continuously for a few seconds. The red light on the ESC switch starts to flash. Then release the key. If the key is not released within 8 seconds, the ESC will enter into other modes. At this time, we'll be setting 3 points: the neutral position, the end position of the forward, and the end position of the backward. Keep the throttle trigger in neutral position and press the on-off button. The green LED flashes once. Move the throttle trigger to the end of forward position by pulling it all the way in. Then press the on-off button. The green LED should flash twice and motor emits 2 beeps. Move the throttle trigger to the end of the backward position by pushing it all the way out. Then press the on-off button. The green LED flashes 3 times and the motor emits 3 beeps. And now you are done with throttle calibration. In order to do the programming, make sure that the ESC is turned off. You'll connect the JST plug here with the black wire to the negative port. And then remove the rubber cap from the on-off switch and insert the other side of the wire. The black wire goes under P or to the left side of the switch. Now turn on the ESC. Here you are going to select the different items. The Fusion has only 9 programmable items compared to 15 for the 1080, so it's a quicker setup. Let's start with number 1, RPM throttle matching. This is the FOC. Default is set on value 1, which is enabled, and I'll keep it enabled. Next is LiPo cells. The default is automatic judgment. Since I only use 3S LiPo, I'll change the value to 3 and click on OK to save it. Next is the cutoff voltage. The function is to prevent accidental discharge of batteries and damaging the battery. The ESC will monitor the battery voltage, and once the voltage drops below the set threshold, then it will shut off. The default is set to intermediate, which means it will shut off if it falls below 3.2 volts per cell. Low is 3 volts per cell and high is 3.4 volts per cell. I find the intermediate works well, so I'll keep it at a default value. Number 4 is the ESC thermal protection. Basically, ESC will shut off automatically when the temperature rises to preset value. Value 1 is 105 degrees Celsius or 221 degrees Fahrenheit. Value 2 is 125 degrees Celsius and then 257 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll keep this value to default value of 1. Number 5 is the motor rotation, and this is the key change that we need to do. This swaps the direction of the motor. The default is set to counterclockwise. We need to change this to clockwise to ensure that the motor rotates correctly. Number 6 is the BEC voltage. Option 1 is 6 volts and option 2 is 7.4 volts. For this setting, you need to check your servos to see if they can handle 7.4 volts. For me, since I'm using direct connect battery and I do not have smaller micro servos, it really doesn't matter for me. So I'll keep it to default 6.4 volts. For those of you that do have micro servos, I would keep it at value 1 as well. Number 7 is the drag brake force. Drag brake means the brake force on the motor when the throttle is moved from non-neutral to neutral. The default is on value 5, which is level 4. Personally, I want all of the drag brake as possible, so I'm going to set the value to value 9, level 8. Next is the drag brake rate. It's the rate that the drag brake forces increases from 0 to the set value. Reasonably setting this value can make the rig stop more stably. The default is on value 5 or level 5. Since this is my trail rig, I'm going to lower this a bit to option 4 and adjust as needed. And number 9 is the max reverse force. I know that some people love full reverse, but I don't really like full reverse on my rigs. So I would go with the option 2, which is 50%. If I need more, then I'll adjust to 75%. Once everything is set to your liking, turn off the ESC and we're set to go. Now you can disconnect the cable and make sure to put the rubber cap on. Hope you found the information helpful. Please like and subscribe and make sure to hit the notification bell so that you can be alerted when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching Big Hobbies.